I mean,
You know?
did you ever encounter anyone who had a gun, like just a civilian in any of these situations?
Well, I'm going to go to the last robbery then. So we do the last robbery. Little do we know until now. We case, this is in Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania. I end up casing the store. It was a good store. But when I case an area, I might case 20 stores that meet my criteria at first. And then you wean them down. What you can do, is it the most money, quickest exits. There's a lot of reasons I did certain things. Mm-hmm. So I picked on this one. Now it's about 5 miles from the last one. I mean, the last case I did, you know, the casing was across town or whatever it's called. I do the robbery. While we're doing the robbery, a lady comes up and has to put her hands, you know, close to the window because of the sun. I was telling you how it works. So she put her hands up and sees us robbing the store. My brother and I, we fucking, I say, move, bolt, you had to go. I mean, there's no stop everything, just go. Now we have the car out front. It was like we walked, you know, we pulled up. It was again, the car was a rent-a-car from Florida with fake plates. It was like fake plates. So anybody got them, they never can get to us, whatever it is. And I always used a nondescript car. It could be a four-door Cameo, a Camry, or whatever the fuck it was. You know, something that was normal, regular cars. No hopped up car. So we run for now, first of all, when we first robbed it and got in and put him down, I take 6 guns out of his safe. 6 guns is do that. Put them in my bag. Thank God they saved my life at the end. You'll hear this. So I fucking see the guy go, gotta go, boom. We bolt for the fucking door. As we go right near the door, we see the glass fucking flying. We're being fucking shot at. The fucking guy gets out of the fucking flex cuffs. And there's another gun there. We didn't even fucking see it. He fucking shoot. We jump in the car. I get in, driver's side. He gets to the other side. Just like this. I'm looking right at the fucking thing. Put it into. He comes and levels the gun at my head. I fucking go like this. He shoots the bullet, goes right in the middle of the fucking thing, goes through, skims my head. Got a little blood, and goes in my brother's back, through his back, into his arm.
Oof.
To this day, it's still in his arm.
Oh, no.
So anyway, yeah, they know about it. So anyway, boom. Fuck her is we had a getaway, like fucking something you'll see on fucking, you know, one of these crazy shows, movies. And I mean, the community was outraged that this guy's just shooting out. How did he know he's going to kill somebody else? You know what I mean? This guy was just shooting. Well, we get away. Again, got away because it was well planned. I had an exit strategy. I knew the route to the T, how to get on every major road. In fact, it was so close. We pull up to a toll, and I got a bullet hole right in my fucking windshield. I got to go to Brooklyn. We're in Pennsylvania. How I did it is I waited to 18-wheeler. I got behind the 18-wheeler really tight. When the 18-wheeler pulled through the fucking booth, you know, because then you had to pay toll. There was no this shit. You had to pay. I had the exact change, everything ready. When he pulled through, I pulled up past the thing. So because the guy's doing something, and you know what I mean? Like the booth is here. I would pull here so he couldn't see the windshield and literally lean back and give the money like that.
Yeah.
And when I did that on the first one, it said, be on the lookout for it. And I could see he didn't have any fucking, you know, he didn't pay attention. He knew it, whatever. We get on the fucking turnpike. We get to fucking Brooklyn. We again, the gangster place, and the place where that place was, we had an apartment on the second floor of that. Took my brother up there, and we did it. I was going to drop him in the hospital if I thought he was, you know, just drop him there or whatever. We thought we had that plan, but we didn't need to do that. We get to the fucking goddamn, I clean up. We get to the fucking thing, you know, running again, gangsters. We have friends. We send out car to get the glass changed. Brooklyn Auto Glass. Boom. Literally. Thank God it was a rent-a-car from Florida because there's no stickers in the corner. In New York and other places, they have the registration, no stickers in the corner. You know, what are you going to do when you can't get that?
Yeah.
Florida doesn't have that. So I had the whole fucking windshield. In fact, I had that done when I had $500,000 in jewels in the trunk. I was less than that, 200, because again, we had to get out of there quicker. But anyway, get the thing. Now, back then, you got to remember, this is 1996. You could fly anywhere. There was no 9/11 shit or anything. You just you give a name and cash at the counter and get on a plane. Literally, that's what you do. So we had that plan. We ended up getting him. We had him sent him back to Florida, and I was going to take care of the business up there, which I always did anyway. So he gets back, and we were going to set him up. I call a buddy of mine here, another wise guy, and I said, "Hey, Louie, I need a doctor." What do you need? He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "But I got a vet." I said, "All right, my brother's got a bullet in him. We got to take the fucking bullet out." Well, he's also a builder, like a contractor. He's building Judge Torpy's house. They set up a door and fucking sawhorses for a fucking table for my brother, but thank God they didn't use it. So he had it all set up. When we got home, my mother's a saint. I live with my what I put my fucking mother through. It's just, I don't even want to say. My mother is really, she never cursed in her life. It's the weirdest shit in the world. But anyway, my mother's been a nurse. So she was working at a doctor's office around right where I live. And she was one of the head nurses at this doctor's office. So what my mother, we came up with the story that Larry and Davey were playing with guns at the bar, and Larry shot Davey, and he can't go to the hospital because if he does, Larry goes to the fucking prison because you can't have a gun and all this shit. And I end up fucking going to my mother takes him and takes care of my whole brother. Literally takes care of my brother. Doesn't take the bullet out because she said it would cause more damage. Again, we were going to get a vet. Yeah. But, and she took care of him with penicillin and all that, make sure it didn't get infected. And what I did not know in this whole case is that when I robbed the jewelry store, I was caught by the major case squad from Quantico, Virginia, the biggest, the FBI, the best of the best. And they are the best of the best. Anybody who tells you they're not is all lying. So what happened was that they go in, the FBI, and they flooded the area. And I didn't know they flooded the area. So when they fucking do that, I go, what the fuck am I going to do? You know what I mean? And they went to every single jewelry store within X amount of miles. They confiscated every single camera from every 7-Eleven or Wawa store. Because when I was convicted, I had a conviction from Savannah, Georgia, me in that area getting a cup of coffee in the Wawa fucking store. And they got me on film. So they placed me there at the time of the robbery and everything else. FBI fucking had fucking crazy amount of fucking shit. And they ended up catching me. Everybody gets caught eventually, I think.
What when you get the big score and you get all the jewels and everything, like I know you're saying like, oh, it's $800,000 worth of jewels. Is that $800,000 as worth like what you could get from the mob that you were selling it to, or no, $800,000 like that's the total amount and you'd get like I don't even know what a percentage is. Like what?
Yeah, I used to get about 30%, depending on like Rolex watches. I would bring Rolex watches in. I would get $2,000 of Rolex. The regular Oyster Perpetuals I went for about $5,000. I'd get $2,000. So if I had 50 of them, I know the number right there. There's 100,000 right there. So how it worked was like, depending on the robbery, if I got $1 million out of that store, 30, maybe 300, maybe you negotiate to 350, maybe it's not good shit, whatever. But I used to get the good shit, with diamonds. So that's how the money end up works, with diamonds and stuff. They rob these diamonds, and the reason they do it, the biggest robberies lately, you'll hear them all. The one in France was $136 million. If the guy got 20%, you can't rob 20 million, 20% is like for 35 million. Yeah. You can't rob 35 million in cash anywhere. You can't do it. And that's his end. That's the guy's end on that end. Jewelry is always the smart way to go in robberies. And most people got caught by their fences. Somebody snitching that, these guys robbed $5 million at a Tiffany's Jewelers in New York. I was out. I said, I wish I'd known them because you know how they got caught? They sold a fucking diamond ring up in Harlem for crack. And fucking, of course, one snitch to another snitch or whatever happens, they end up fucking getting arrested. Now, and God was in on that. I would have bought the whole load for him for $1 million. I would have sold it for $2 million. You know what I mean? Maybe $1 million, whatever.
Interesting. Is there Is there?
Don't know. You need a fence.
Is there anything like intimidating or weird about like? Because I mean, you're selling these to guys that are higher up in the mob, like scarier guys.
I'm selling them to a guy who's connected to the mob, but's in the business.
Okay.
You don't sell them to your next guy. You're kicking up anyway. You whatever you do, whatever you rob, whatever you steal, whatever you're a bookmaker, you're kicking up anyway. So I used to give envelopes to my boss.
Okay. So there was, as long as you were making money and, earning, you weren't worried at all about like higher ups in the mob.
No, matter of fact, the higher ups want you. I mean, you're the earner. Mm-hmm. You're the money maker. In fact, the only reason I had to be with the family, so to speak, is because I needed that protection. Because if the other families would have found out that, hey, there's Larry, he's a big robber, they're going to take me hostage. They're going to fucking put an iron on me if I don't have protection. So when you have protection, everybody knows, listen, you can't fuck with that guy. He's with the Gambinos, or he's with the, Columbos, he's with the Genovese, he's with whoever the fuck it is. Lucchese's, it doesn't matter. If you're with one of those 5 families, the others are not going to fuck you. They're going to start a war over some fucking idiot trying to fucking, because my bosses are going to fucking fight for me because they're making money. Yeah. It's all about money. Don't let anybody kid you. The fucking mob is all about money. That loyalty shit is all bullshit.
All about money. No loyalty, just that's a convenient little.
Look at it. You want loyalty? Look what fucking Gotti, Sammy did to Gotti. Look what fucking people do every day. What people, you can't even go there and talk about loyalty. It's been fucking up now. Obviously, there's certain people, but you see it happening every day, man. So it's about money. Who's making the most money? Joe Messina, the fucking boss of a family. Fucking a boss of a family fucking flipped. What the fuck are we doing? How does that work?
You mentioned like jewelry always being the smart move for people who are trying to make a lot with, make it relatively easier. So robbing banks, that's stupid. No reason to ever try to rob a bank in your mind?
Well, first of all, banks don't carry a lot of money. Even if they did, you might want to go to a warehouse. I knew guys who did this, or the armored trucks that go to the warehouses. But even besides that, you're automatically after you by the feds because it's a federal crime. Yes, because they're FDIC approved, insured. So the federal government is insured, so that makes it a federal crime. Actually, a jewelry robbery is not a federal crime. I didn't make it federal. My actual charge is what they call Hobbs Act, or interfering with interstate commerce under the RICO Act. Under RICO is like murder could be under RICO Act. Murder is not a federal crime. Whatever state you're in, you kill unless it's on federal property or something like that. Federal agent, something of that nature. You could rob McDonald's and the federal government could make it federal because McDonald's gets its fucking French fries from Idaho. And they can say, now you are interfering with interstate commerce, which is called the Hobbs Act. You're going to get federally fucking convicted, federally prosecuted. And they do it under the RICO Act for me. Because I was interfering with interstate commerce, all these robberies from different states and everything else. So they knew who I was. They knew I was with the family in New York. So they loved it, but they didn't get anything out of me. I went to prison for not telling. That's why I went to the worst prisons in the world.
What would someone do if they didn't have the connections to sell jewels? Because that's the thing that I think we've discussed this before, like many years ago, maybe just a discussion I've had with friends. It's like, why would I rob a jewelry store? I would then have jewels. I don't know what to do with fucking jewels, right?
As a normal guy who's not connected.
Well, we just said that. We just said that earlier.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's a quick answer because it wasn't a place like that. You could take jewelry and piece it off and be fucking never get caught. You go into a jeweler down in somewhere and say, listen, this is my grandmother's piece. And I'm looking to get rid of it. And it's, maybe it's a $10,000, $20,000 piece. And the guy goes, well, he's trying to, doesn't know anything about jewelry. I'll give him 10 grand. He'll just shut up, And he's not reporting it. He's going to take it out or resell it or whatever it's going to be. And you just got 10 grand to walk around the street if you're going to do something small like that. Mine, you needed defense. You needed defense in the jewelry business. Otherwise, you could have never got rid of them. That's how the guys from Tiffany's got caught. They didn't have a fence. The fence is the guy that, first of all, most people, even when the fence gets caught, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to fucking rat on the guys, well, where are you getting the fucking jewelry? But the guys I had were all connected and there was no rats on my case. There's not one rat on my case.
How does the fence do his job? Like, obviously he takes the diamonds in and gives you cash, but like, what does he doesn't sell the diamonds? Does he sell the diamonds to a jewelry store?
Absolutely. The fences are diamonds. The fences are usually jewelers themselves or something. I was telling you earlier, the jewelry business is so fucking crooked. You know, obviously I can get into how diamonds go from De Beers in Africa and how you get buyer and beat all that kind of stuff. I went to the GIA Institute, which is a Gemological Institute of America. It cost me 10 grand under the table. There were 4 of us in it. But I went in that to learn about diamonds. I want to know about the qualities, the cuts, and what they mean, because I don't want to get fucking robbed. You know, it's like knowledge is fucking king in anything you do.
Can't trust fences.
Well, again, you got to trust yourself, man, because I know what's there. Now it's a haggle of the price, you know, and they're not going to haggle too much because I'm bringing them so much. You think he wants to lose me to even go look for another guy?
You're already giving him a stellar deal. It's hot goods, right? You know. Well,
he's getting the best deal. Nobody could ever buy his diamond cheaper than he could sell it because he's buying it for fucking nothing almost, you know. It depending on watches, you know, anything. He's making he couldn't buy it wholesale to sell retail like he can get from stealing, you know, 30,
right.
25%.
That's what I'm saying. So he's not gonna get too he's already getting this stuff 80% off. What's he need? 85%.
Right. And not only that, they don't want me to go to another guy and say, wait a minute, I'm a piss Larry. He's coming here every fucking twice, 2 times a year. Fucking, I'm making fucking. Now he gets his price. So if he buys it from me at, let's just say you said 20%, 30%, whatever number, he tacks on 15%, sells it, and he pieces it out. I actually found out a lot of my diamonds that I robbed went to California. And they were literally sold out in California. And it's funny because I thought later in years, I should have just opened a store on Rodeo Drive, not give a fuck, put a fucking hot looking broad behind the fucking counter, whether she knew what the fuck she was doing, and sell shit at fucking decent price, and fucking could have made a ton of money, had could have did a lot of things. You can only do that with obviously common pieces. You couldn't do that with signature pieces. Anything that's made that's specifically for someone, it's a signature piece. They got to break it up and they got to make diamonds, brooches, whatever they're going to do out of it. You know, and that's important. But I think back after the fact, man, I should have just fucking kept it all, opened the fucking store, and I'd have fucking maybe became legit. Nah, never would have happened.
Wouldn't have worked out when you had to replenish your.
I had a question from earlier. So you said that you never heard anyone who wasn't in the game. That was part of your code. No kids, no like old people or.
Well, we'll get to the in a minute.
But you didn't say. You didn't say it, but I interpreted like no civilians, basically. You know, if they're not in the game, you're trying to not hurt them. Did you ever lose? You're in the game, right? Maybe someone else that like all I'm hearing about are your wins, right? The time you made a guy wrinkle free, the time you muscle here or there. You undefeated in this, or do you have any times?
No, I'm only defeated once, and that was by the federal government, and they fucking win. I never was shot or shot at. I've been in cars where somebody shot at somebody in the car and stuff of that nature, and I wasn't hit or anything like that. So as far as like and fighting, you know, we didn't fight. There was never fair fights. I mean,
there's somebody tougher than you out there. Right?
Absolutely, there was a guy around when I was around called Tommy Karate. That guy's got more bodies. He's probably on the internet. You can look him up, I'm sure.
Tommy Karate?
Yeah, Tommy Karate. That motherfucker.
Sounds like he works at birthday parties.
No,
Joey Karate.
They were killers.
That's Joey Karate you're thinking.
No, they were killers.
Look up Joey Karate.
Is he from Parks and Rec?
Oh, that is the guy from
Parks. I love that.
So this guy he's incarcerated now.
Tommy Pateri is his name.
Karate.
Pateri.
And he was like a big enforcer, and he's locked up now, or no?
Tommy Pateri is his name.
Is he alive?
I think so.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Pateri.
No, there's a lot of guys. You're right, Woody. Obviously, I tell everybody that anything, whether it's fighting, whether it's, I used to tell you, listen, dude, if you think your broad is with you because you think you got a big dick, well, there's another guy with a bigger dick, with more money, better looking, better educated. If she wants to be with him, she will. She's either with you or not. That's what I was telling that swinger.
He doesn't want her. Like my girlfriend.
Yeah. But you know, and you're right.